coming to you live from Middlesbrough. And welcome to my co-presenter, Martin Pegham. Hello, Martin. Hello, Martin. Great. It's a great start this evening, everybody. I've lost my co-presenter in the ether of the internet, and though I am so lucky that I've got our two guests sitting in the green room waiting to come and join us in the stream. So what have we got for you this evening? We've got 60 minutes of some amazing chats with some fabulous guests from across the community. We're going to be joined by our first two guests, which is Councillor Dorothy Davison, the Executive Member for Adult Social Care and Public Health. And we've also got our lovely friend at CVFM Radio, Meika Smiles. So they're going to be joining us. Also, she's a counsellor as well, as I'm sure everybody knows. But I am actually working from information this evening from my wonderful colleague, Martin. He's put the show together. So it's going to be a good show. Then our next guests after that, we will be joined by Emma Abbott. She's the Development Officer at Youth Focused Northeast today. So we're going to be finding out all about that. If you actually listened to the show a couple of weeks ago when we had Councillor Lee Garvey on, we were mentioning the Youth Focused Northeast quite a bit. And then our final guest, and hopefully he's going to be coming into the stream, my colleague. Our final guest is 21-year-old Charlotte Potter. She's a classical stroke crossover soprano. Now, Martin, welcome back. How are you?
Hello. Sorry I disappeared for a little while. I went into the ether.
Martin, would you like to go back out and then come back in and accept sound? Okay. Listeners, you will be pleased to know that Martin I did actually have sound with Martin before the show went live, and Martin has actually been saying hello to everybody, to our guests as well. So we don't know what's happened there, but you know what it's like. It's the beauty of live radio. We're going to try again to get him into the stream. If you want to see us on Facebook, you can actually see Martin coming live, myself coming live on Facebook and also YouTube this evening. And Martin,
I'm definitely alive.
Are you there or not?
Can you hear me? It is Houston calling.
What you need to do, apologies, listeners. What you need to do, Martin, is get yourself back out again. Go and unplug your microphone, plug it back in, or go and accept the particular microphone it is. So whilst we're waiting for Martin to get himself all sorted, I'm going to throw you back out again, Pet. I'm actually going to bring our guests in. So I am just going to take them off mute, and I'm going to go. Hello, Meika. Hello, Dorothy. Say hello to me, please. Say hello to me.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, wow. We've actually got guests. Actually, Martin might want to come back because I've actually realised it's my fault that I haven't actually got him.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Do you know, like on council meetings, this?
Hey, I tell you, well, you know. Do you know something? We've actually had a mention from the mayor. So I'm going to bring him into the stream. Martin, hello, my lovely.
Hello, lady.
Do you know
what?
Do you know what? Do you know
what? My favourite ladies together, all in one pot. It's a great date tonight.
Martin, can I apologise to you, my love? It's actually my fault that people couldn't hear you because, you know, I'm sitting in the studio and I'm not used to being in this studio. I think I've only been in here twice in the last year. I didn't actually...
Meika, do you believe that? You really just wanted to shut me out. That's what it was. That's what you were doing. You didn't want me to talk to you, so you were shutting me out. Huh?
Oh, dear.
Officer, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm going to put Martin Big here. So let's get you in here, Martin. Okay, so
Hello.
Martin, will you introduce our fabulous guests, please?
I'd be absolutely delighted to introduce them. We have two of my favourite councillors from Middlesbrough, the wonderful Meika Smiles, who represents the Nunthorpe ward, and the even more wonderful, if I dare say it, Dorothy Davison, who I have known for quite a few years, but have never had on this programme, because we know each other from Captain Cook, don't we, Dorothy? Excellent. Right. Well, forgive me, ladies, if I forget your incredibly long title, but I think, Meika, that you are the executive member for education, something, and something. Would that be right?
Communities and education.
I know I get it right. Let's try Dorothy, executive member for
Adult
social
care and public
services.
health.
Go for it, Dorothy.
Adult care and public health.
Brilliant. Now, the great thing is, not only we have two councillors for the price of one, but ladies, tonight is all about good news. And we've had two big announcements in the last 2 weeks that both of you are involved with. Is that correct?
Actually,
I'm looking for her because I can't hear a thing now.
It depends what announcement you're talking about.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Well, okay then. Yeah, I thought it was so big you'd have remembered them. Right. Okay. So the first one was this week when there was an announcement by the mayor that Middlesbrough is believed to be the first town or city in the UK to pledge that every child will have access to an internet device. Now, come on, Meika. You're the executive member for education. Didn't that ring a bell?
No. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm just thrilled about it. I mean, what a pledge to say that every child that needs access to a device is going to get it. I just think it's amazing, and I think, you know, it's important during lockdown, obviously, but even when the kids go back to school, it's going to be really important in catching up. And it's going to leave a legacy to make sure that those children are not going to have any barriers to their learning. So it's, you know, when we made that announcement, I think it was on Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday? I was just absolutely thrilled.
And I understand it. I mean, we're talking here about £350,000 for 1,200 laptops and internet dongles, very important. Never lose your dongle. That's what I always say. But this is from central government money, isn't it?
Yes, it's from central government money. It's to tackle, you know, any problems that we come across during COVID in our communities, and we think that this is exactly the kind of thing we need to be spending that money on. The Department for Education, they came through with 10,000 laptops, which is obviously a huge amount, and the head teachers have really appreciated those. But this extra money is to try and catch those children that possibly aren't in the deprived category officially, but might have a few siblings, or there might have been a change of circumstance. And it means that every one of those children is going to get the access they need. And what we did was we went to every single head teacher in school and asked what extra provision they needed. So it's come straight from the horse's mouth, as it were. And I'm just really, really happy about it.
I mean, we've been hearing a lot locally, nationally, about the problem that parents are having with homeschooling. My favourite one was the slogan on the side of a van that said, "You told me my children were a delight in class. They are not." That was my favourite one, because parents have been tearing their hair out, you know. But one of those issues is access to the internet, isn't it? Because the teachers are trying to deliver, and you've got people at home with bad internet connections and everything else. You've been talking to the teachers, haven't you, and to the head teachers. What's their reaction to this?
Well, they're obviously really happy that we're doing everything we can as a council to support them. I make sure that I speak to head teachers regularly, and that, you know, unfortunately, it's not just the matter that children don't always have access to a device. There are other things that, you know, stop children from remote learning. Like you said, it's the connectivity. Sometimes it's the case that parents don't have the digital skills that are needed. So we as a council, it's something that actually Dorothy and I are working on at the moment to try and pull together a strategy to get into communities and upskill people, so that have got them skills to support the children in learning. And it can also be simple things like not having a quiet room to study. So there's lots of, you know, remote learning is far from being a perfect way to learn, but we as a council are trying to do what we can to mitigate against any of those barriers.
Excellent news. And what I love about it, Meika, is that it's a response to the current situation we're all in, but it's actually to have such long-term benefit for the whole town and for the people concerned. That's what's so wonderful. Just turning a moment to Dorothy. The big announcement for you, Dorothy, was actually last week when £480,000 was announced to develop the COVID Champions Network and the community response to coronavirus. And it's all about getting the message out there to the communities. And I know you were excited about that because you're very much involved with how communities get their message across.
Yes, it's so important for communities, and this funding will come in so handy. It also means that we can actually invest in more community champions within Middlesbrough, rather than we have quite a lot at the minute, and we can work with them to make sure they're involved in the community. You know very well that I'm very involved with my community where I live now as a councillor, but I want every community in Middlesbrough to be like that, and our community champions and this extra funding will help with that.
We at TVFM, I know that one of the key issues is getting out to parts of the community that don't receive messages easily, shall we say. So the Chinese community, the BME network, all that sort of thing. Are
Martin,
you particularly...
Martin, you might need to actually start that question again. What it
okay,
is,
right, no problem.
Because
we're having great fun with the internet. I tell you what, Meika, can you spend some of that money on my internet connection? It'd be really good.
Can I just say, I'm having to mute the guests because we've got a lot of back sound coming in, and to try and keep the sound in one level for people listening to it on the radio and also on Facebook, I am just muting people. So when I bring you in, I'm actually muting you as well at the same time. So I apologise for that, everybody. So Martin, carry on. I'm so sorry.
Yes, miss, I can please carry on now. I love this, you know, the power that Anne has. Look, Dorothy, Meika, you both know I'm impossible to shut up, but Anne has that power. Thank you, Dorothy. There's the confirmation I needed. Right, now, Dorothy, this money is coming in particularly useful because there are groups within our community that are difficult to reach. Chinese community, BME community, all of which are important to Middlesbrough. So I'm guessing you're particularly pleased that the council can work with lots of different groups within the community to get the message over.
Yes, yeah. It's important that we get to these groups and we make sure these groups are in the right places so that we can communicate with everybody in Middlesbrough, not just one part or another part, everywhere in Middlesbrough. We need to communicate with everybody. And we need to encourage people to do things together, Martin, as communities. And that's where our community champions come in, is that they can actually guide all the communities together to work together to make things better for everybody.
Do you know what I particularly love, Dorothy, is the fact that you know, we hear every day on a sort of national briefing about the difficulties of getting the message out. But in Middlesbrough, the council works so closely with all the different community groups. I mean, we at CBFM know that because we keep hearing from both the councillors and the groups about the working together. Now, how will this money
can I
actually...
just come in quickly, Martin, with something? Yeah. Today, I've spent all afternoon this afternoon with health, communities and health and mental health in communities. And this afternoon, we had 100 people online that work within the communities and South Middlesbrough and East, the Redcar and Cleveland and Middlesbrough together, South Tees, and there was 100 people online from all different communities where we want to pull together. This one was about mental health, which is a great, this week is Children's Mental Health Week. And we need the children. It's so difficult for children at the minute, as we know, and parents and teachers. And I really want to say it on radio, thanks to the parents, thanks to the teachers. But those children, at the end of the day, they're our children. They're our future. And we want to make sure that everything's right for them. And I feel ever so sorry for the children because they've having no interaction with their peers. They have an interaction with the teachers, which is absolutely amazing online, but they must miss the playground time. It's okay going for a walk with mum and dad. But then I also feel sorry for the parents like Meika, who's trying to work and home teach. It must be difficult for everybody, but I'm sure there's got to be light at the end of the tunnel. I've had my vaccine, so I can see it. I can see the light.
I know, Dorothy, how much you talk about young people, and I know how passionate you are about local schools and places like that. And, you know, it just shows how local people doing things for local people can do it much better, I think, than national government. You know, it's down to grassroots, I would say. A question for you both. You come from Nunthorpe Ward and you come from Martin East Ward. Now, both of those wards have a significant number of people over the age of 65. I think it's about 300 or 400 in each of your wards. Two things: you must be absolutely delighted at the speed of a vaccination program, and secondly, you know, how have you found it talking to people about their coping with social isolation and everything that's going on? Who wants to go first?
Dorothy, please. Dorothy.
Right. The thing is, within my community here, and I think Martin knows this, we have a community centre that we built. My colleague and I, he raised most of the funds just before I became a councillor. But in Martin, we have our own community centre, which we raised the funds for. We got some lottery funding and we got some Middlesbrough Council funding, and we sold books at Martin shops. But that is an asset to the community, that community centre, when it can be open. We have all sorts of groups that go on in there. But at the minute, it's not open. But I found when I go out for my walk every day, I meet lots of people that we can talk to, say hello, how are you, at socially distance. A lot of neighbours, I see 2 neighbours a day. Are you okay? Do you need anything? And it's been amazing how people have got together over this COVID period.
And the Martin Community Centre, I'm going a big shout out to them because it's one of my favourite places to visit and give a talk to. The wonderful Sylvia there and everybody involved. Meika, how have you found it in Nunthorpe?
Yeah, you're right, Martin. We do have an ageing population in Nunthorpe. There's lots of elderly people. And I found that in particular in the first lockdown, we run a scheme to help with shopping and, you know, getting people's medical things and stuff. And I I do worry that sort of the elderly community in Nunthorpe are going to struggle once lockdown's over, because I think that there's a fear there about going out to get your, you know, simple things like getting your shopping in, and it's almost like people have fallen out of the habit of it. So I think that the sooner that we can get those clubs open, like Dorothy was talking about, we've got a WI in Nunthorpe, we've got the Nunthorpe Knitters, we've got the Institute which is run from the Avenue School. We need, as soon as lockdown's over, we need to really try and start getting those networks back together again, because it's that peer support that people really rely on.
I fully agree, Meika. I mean, everybody's focused on the here and now, but I think you're right. Some people are just starting to look slightly longer term. We've had a lot of talk over the last few months about how wonderful community spirit, and people expressing a hope that we, if you like, shift away from material values to community values, people values. You know, is that something that you're looking to see develop in your ward?
Absolutely. I think that people of the community in Nunthorpe, at least, is, well, all over Middlesbrough, they've stepped up to the plate in supporting the more vulnerable people. You know, knocking on the door to make sure that people don't need shopping, picking up the phone, just to have a conversation with people is really important. I mean, I don't know if you've found, but I've found if I'm talking to somebody about work, like a work colleague at the moment, you get onto all sorts, and I feel that's because the social interaction's missing at the moment. So you just end up having nice conversations with people, because people really need it. People are stuck in the home, and you know, it's just nice to check in on people, and people in Nunthorpe have definitely done that.
Wow.
They are looking forward and starting to plan for the future. I mean, I know the community centre is chock-a-block with activities in normal times. You know, as you walk in the door, a whole load of people are coming out the door. It's constant. So are people starting to see a sort of glimmer of sunshine on the horizon?
I think, am I in now? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm quite sure of that, Matt, and I think everybody's thinking about what can we do. And I think it's going to be, people are wanting to get out there, and everybody's been, me, I've been in the house more or less, other than going for my click and collect on a Friday, since March last year, you know, because I've had to, because of my husband's health. But I've been able to continue work because I've been very busy with adult care and public health. But I think it's all the town. The town have been amazing during this time. We've had loads of places in the town that have delivered meals, delivered food. We had our own hub set up during the first lockdown. It's still there. People can still ring up and get, even the fire brigade have been delivering food to people. We have our eco shops that you can go online and deliver what you want, and it'll be delivered. It's been amazing, and it's amazing that it's still continuing, but it's there for everybody in Middlesbrough.
And again, for both of you, maybe Dorothy first, you're looking forward. The council has obviously taken a major role during this period to help steer us through it. Do you think, I mean, I remember back on the show a year and a half ago, you would get people sort of saying, the council, or what did they do, etc. Do you think people have come to appreciate much more what the council do?
I hope they do. I don't think councils are ever that popular, Martin, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, rubbish. You're very popular, Dorothy.
But the council have done their utmost for everybody, and everything they want to know, they want to do, you could ring up. And in fact, we got a phone call to our house because they were ringing all the vulnerable people on the list from the government. They were ringing them in Middlesbrough during the first lockdown. And we got a call at this house, and it a young lady I knew, and I said, "Oh, hello, how are you today?" She said, "Oh, that's not you, is it, Dorothy?" And I said, "Yes, it is. It is." But she'd rung to see if my husband was okay, and he was on the vulnerable list. So we did all that. So I do hope that the townspeople do appreciate everything the council's done and will continue to do.
Good.
Yeah.
Meika,
I totally agree with what Dorothy said. And from a school's perspective, I feel that the schools have really clubbed together and it's brought them closer because, the majority of our schools are academies. So the council doesn't directly run them. But during this time, I feel that they've really appreciated the council's support. And it's things like, head teachers saying, look, we're having to use our budgets for hand sanitizer. And we've stepped in and said, you know what, we're going to help because, you need support there. So we've listened and we're trying to help where we can.
Meika, just to let you know, the fan club is now in. Mark White thinks you're fabulous.
Yay! Hi, Mark.
Yeah, but the only reason he said that, Meika, he's right about you, but he hasn't met Dorothy yet.
Because Dorothy is
Mark, you really need to widen your circle. You need to widen your circle and meet all the ladies I get to meet. Hey. Anyway. Can I just Anne seems to have dissolved over her death, which is a bit unfortunate, because I think we're just probably about out of time, ladies. And I just want to say personally that I think all the councillors are doing a fantastic job. And because I see what's going on, and it's so easy to be critical, but actually you're doing a great job. And for me personally, absolute delight to see you two lovely ladies. Honestly, I can't wait to get back into real meetings with you. But hey, until then, this device works quite well. How are you doing, Anne?
Oh well, thank you, Meika. Are we gonna say goodbye to you whilst we've got the microphone on for yourself, and then we'll say goodbye to Dorothy when we put the microphone on, Dorothy. Goodbye, my love.
Thank you for having me again. I love coming on this show, so I hope it's not too long until the next time. But thank you and take care.
And can I ask before you go, have you worn those leather trousers yet?
No, but do you know what? I'm desperate to wear them.
Get yourself I'm in a leather skirt for you today.
Oh, get you. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure Aldi is ready for them. But as soon as that pub is opened, I am getting myself there in the leather pants.
Go girl, that's what I say. Love it. So poor Dorothy's having kittens sitting over there. Anyway, you take my love. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, and Dorothy, who's actually having she's laughing here. Dorothy, thank you so much for coming on as well.
Can I just say one thing before we go? With regards to our mental health, let's all keep talking like we've done tonight. Talk to each other, ring each other, go online to each other. Talk, please talk. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Dorothy. Martin, do you want to say anything? Because you both are on the committee of Captain Cook, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we are.
Martin, are you still there?
I'm just about to hear. I lost the sound for a couple of minutes there. But, hey, Dorothy, the sooner we're back together, organising things for Captain Cook, the better. Okay? I hear there's been some sort of national criticism of our hero today. I'm going to sort that out. Don't worry.
Oh, yes. You should see Martin dressed as Captain Cook.
Oh, we have. I've got photos.
And with at the dance that we ran at the town hall.
Yes.
And uniquely, Anne is the person who made Captain Cook walk around with a haggis. So we won't go into that anymore.
And it came from Scotland as well. I brought him a haggis back from Scotland. So, yes, we love Captain Cook. Captain Cook is just absolutely fabulous. And we also love Martin at Captain Cook, and also
And
Dorothy.
we also love Dorothy, and we love Meika, and we love everybody. So, hey,
Thank you.
And you're doing
yes,
a
yes.
fabulous job.
Thank you.
Thank you. You take care, my lovely. Oh, isn't she so lovely?
I know. You know me, Anne, because
Lucky.
you're my friend, right? Okay, I only pick nice ladies. The trouble is, I find most ladies are nice, so it's just an ever expanding number. But yeah, Dorothy is lovely. I've worked with her. She worked with Tom Morstan up in the Martinique ward, and the pair of them have done wonders for that award. Absolutely superb. And Meika worked with John Rathmell in Nunthorpe, a nice guy, and this is what it's about. It's people who care for the communities and doing great things.
And John's done lots for the homeless cafe as well. So it's it is that quote that you said earlier about the counsellors and how hard they work, Martin. They really, really do work hard. And we get a lot of the counsellors on the show here and share their messages to people, because I think we should be sharing and shouting more about how good a job our counsellors are doing, shouldn't we?
Yeah, because it's not an easy task. It's an easy one to criticise, but get in there, do something about it, find the pot with money, identify where it is, and these people are the voice. If it's not going right, tell them, and they sort it out. That's a great thing. So
Yeah, now, before we get our next guest on, I want to ask you, because I know that you, like myself, we've both been doing fitness every day, haven't we?
We have.
To the year.
We have Joe Wick, one of my new heroes. He's been great. But as you know, Anne, but listeners don't know, I went and fell down a muddy bank the other day and somewhat sprained my wrist. So when Joe was asking to do the press-up, I said, no way am I doing the press-ups on this one. So, but yeah, it's been great fun.
And the PE with, I know you're doing PE with Joe. I am just going on to YouTube and doing a high intensity and abs workout, which is only 20 minutes. And halfway through, he'll say, "You've tuned into this, so keep going." And I feel much better. How do you feel apart from having a pulley wrist?
It's great because, funny enough, you find halfway through the session, I do the PE one. It's obviously geared to lots of children, which is great. It's perfect for me. It's fitness on Monday. It's questions on Wednesday, homework time, and on Friday, it's dressing up fancy dress time. And as you know, Anne, Joe does silly things like run into the wall because he can't see where he's going, which has me increasing. But seriously, just doing an exercise, 15-20 minutes on the morning, clears your head, gets you moving, thinking about things. It's a great thing to do.
And it's good for your mental health as well. So
it's good for mental health, good for physical health.
And you can talk to Joe as well, because I do.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the number of people from Ireland that are talking to him. What is going on?
Well, talking about children and youth and activities for young people, our next guest, I'm going to bring her into the feed. It is Emma Abbott, and I'm going to put you big, Martin, as well. So because there we go. I'll move over in a moment. We've got Emma Abbott. She is the development officer. As I'm trying to mute her as well, everybody, development officer at Youth Focus Northeast. Now, we had Lee Garvey on a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about Emma and everybody who work there. Good evening, Emma. How are you?
Hiya, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on this evening and sharing the message of what you do. Now, for listeners that don't know about Youth Focus Northeast, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Youth Focus Northeast, it's a regional charity. We cover the whole of the Northeast. So literally right up to the Scottish borders, right down through to Redcar and Cleveland, to along the north, like literally the top of North Yorkshire. I used to know roughly how many local authorities, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a lot. The work that I do is mainly within the Tees Valley, and we're doing quite a bit within East Middlesbrough, which I'll talk about shortly. So we do direct delivery, we've done employment stuff, we do youth voice. We also like support the sector, so we've got national links as well as the regional links, just like making sure youth work and youth voice is out there and promoted, and it's recognised really.
And so, because I know that you do sessions for young people, etc., and you've had one that you've announced. It was this afternoon, didn't you?
Well, there's been that much going on.
Well, it was announced on Facebook, and it says literally, Martin's put everything together here. You've got some short projects starting over the next few weeks, and you tagged everybody in because I just think what you're doing is brilliant. So tell us a little bit about these sports projects.
So that one, we got funding from the co-op to run some small social action projects across East Middlesbrough. So last year we sort of focused on Pallister Park, but this year we've been very fortunate and lucky enough to get our funding extended, and we've got 2 years to run some small projects across the area, currently online via Zoom. So tomorrow night we're starting the team. Myself and one of my colleagues, Kieran, are doing some stuff around sports. Like to say, I'm not leading on it. I've got 2 left feet and I'll probably end up with more injuries than anything. So I will sit and observe and support while Kieran runs with it. Kieran is our sporty member of staff.
Well, they 6 o'clock, and I know Lee Garvey, he's just come on and he said amazing people, great ideas. And we've also got Maria, she's coming on as well. Youth Focus Northeast is totally fabulous. Well done, Emma. So lots. For people who go onto your social media pages, the amount of work that you're doing and engagement in the community is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're doing really well with like still managing to get stuff out there. So each week we've got teams going out distributing packs with the offer of part of them activities are then run on Zoom. So I'm becoming a bit of I wouldn't say expert in Zoom. There's still little technical things that you still have teething problems. But yeah, they've started to pick up again. We found so long as there's an activity and it's engaging, we're getting the young people doing something. I've been ringing around parents today to let them know that there's stuff going on. There's literally a session going on in North Ormsby at the minute with some of the teams. So it's just all go.
Well, I know Martin wants to ask you a question because I can see his face.
I have to say, Emma, I absolutely love what I was reading about the organisation. What I particularly liked was the fact that you are giving a voice to young people. Because, so often what people try to do for young people is hand it down to them. But you've actually got them involved. And I noticed that there's something called the Northeast Youth Alliance, where they come together. And you've had a couple of meetings recently in late January. What was that about?
Yeah, so the Northeast Youth Alliance, that's ourselves and any youth working together in partnership to where there's like lots of streams, and the stream that myself and my colleagues Simone and Holly are on is the youth voice element of it. And it's very very new project. So we've had a couple of meetings to introduce the idea of the alliance, so looking at what the alliance is. We've given examples of what youth voice is and how we've already started to engage with young people. So for example, the logo that we use, we went with an idea and the young people said, do you know what, we don't like that bit of it, looks too much, because it was way to explain, like hands holding wrists, and it was like it looked like a bike wheel, could not see the bike wheel. So that was a process of speaking to the young people, them telling us what they wanted. So they wanted colour, they wanted it brighter, and then the end result was that logo. So it was a bit of backwards and forwards, but it was very much youth led. So we've had a couple of meetings. We've got another one on Monday at 4 p.m. If anyone wants to get involved, just drop us a message. and I can get you booked on. That's for 11 to 18-year-olds. Early doors, it's very much about the young people shaping that, so how they want to see it. If they think there needs to be roles, what roles do they think the young people should play? We're going to upskill them, so there's opportunities depending on age to learn new skills. They'll get an award at the end of it. So yeah.
And I think, you know, there's a measure of the great work that you're doing. That I understand you've got another grant from the Co-op Foundation. You had a grant earlier in the year or last year to do some work in Pallister Park and Berwick Hill, but you've just had just short of £70,000, am I right in saying? To work with improving community spaces. What exactly are you going to be doing with that money?
So that's the what we're calling it spaces, and it's our social action. So it's about the young people giving back to the community. So the one we're going to be doing is in North Ormsby, and that's an art project. So there's information going out over the next week. I've literally been having messages off one of the teams saying, I've done the poster, I've updated it. So there's a competition for young people, particularly in North Ormsby. If they want to get involved, let us know, because I can get out some art packs to you. We want them to design like collages, like posters, with the idea is the buildings where they're boarded up, so they've got like the green or the grey like metal frames and that. We want to get them to create pictures that can go on it. So it could be key things within North Ormsby, so things like the clock. It might be that they want the Middlesbrough Football Club on there. They might want to transport a bridge. Want them to put their ideas in. We're going to have a panel of young people working alongside members from the Middlesbrough Council to agree on what they would like to then have printed, and some of them properties are then going to hopefully have them printed and put up on them once we've had it confirmed.
Well, I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. Anne?
Martin, can I just say, Emma, when that goes ahead, will you get in touch with us? Because we'd love to cover that, and we'd love to cover people, please, because
we will.
For us, that's what the community is all about. It's about sharing the messages and the great things that the young people are doing. And the other thing as well is, do you know, when you were saying about the posters and for this project, have they actually had the input of young people as well?
So we do the poster designs, but I do put them to them. So for instance, the sports one, not the sports one, it was the sports one. I showed them 2 examples. I said, right, which one would you prefer? And the one that went out was the one that the young people preferred. They said it was much brighter and much clearer than what they were saying.
And that's more important as well, because if you've actually got the posters are correct, it's going to get the engagement of young people, because young people creating those posters, obviously with the guidance of adults to make sure that all the information is in there. And it just means that it's just so much better. And it feels as though you are on a level of young people. And because a lot of young people feel as though they're just being told by adults, don't they? And especially during during current times as well.
Yeah, so we also go out in the community on an evening, what we call outreach or detached youth work, and at the minute it does feel sometimes like we're policing it, but we're not. We are engaging with the young people and encouraging them to go home, or at least break off into twos and get themselves home so that they're safe. We bumped into a group the other night, and I explained to them, you want to get back to youth club, but the more we stick to the rules now, the quicker we can get back into youth club and start having sessions. Because we want them in the building, we want to have them in there, we want to be able to engage them with them. It's just unfortunate that the current situation, it's not safe, and we'd rather protect them and have them in a safe space.
You know what, Anne? What I really love about this, because I'm somewhat older than Emma, okay? But as a young lad, I remember my father working with the local youth club, okay, for years, and doing all sorts of things to engage them in sport, engage them in art, engage them in the local community. And I am absolutely delighted to see Emma and people like her doing the same thing for youngsters today. It has a long-term effect. It really does have a long-term effect. There are people who I've met in the years who said, your dad used to run the youth club. And, you know, they're grown men. They're running their own company. You know, Emma, you're doing fantastic work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy what I do, and all the team do. So I think that helps, the fact that we're so passionate about what we do and giving back to like the young people that we're working with.
And how many have it? Because I, you know, the area that you said you're covering, which is to the Scottish borders and all the way down. How many people have you got within the Middlesbrough, the Teesside area?
So we have, oh gosh, that's a good question. We have like four of us full time. We've got one with like part time, and then we've got like our sessional workers. We've got quite a bank of sessional workers now. So we've got us during the day doing the office work. So well, I say office work, we're all based at home at the minute. So but we'll do, and then we'll have like our sessional workers. So like when we've got our evening sessions, we'll have other people in that come and help do them sessions, and we wouldn't be able to do what we did if we didn't have them there. So
and do you look for volunteers to actually help you as well? Because I can imagine the more volunteers you've got, the more things you can actually do for young people.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some volunteers starting soon. We've got some students coming on board from some of the universities. We're quite fortunate. We're working with Safer Communities on some of the projects that we're running. So we know we don't just work on our own. We will work with partners to do various projects and stuff to reach more young people and create more opportunities. And
the counsellors as well, they're engaged with you. Obviously, Councillor Lee Garvey, he's come on and he's already said what you do is interesting and fresh, and amazing people, great ideas. Obviously, you're inspiring people. And how can people get involved with you? Because I can imagine, you know, funding is important, and also people to help you.
Yeah. So funding is obviously a massive part of what we do, especially with us being a charity. If you want to get involved or you want to find out more, social media is a great place to look. We have our own Facebook page, which is just Youth Focus North East. A lot of a majority of the team have Facebook pages. So for instance, mine's Emma YFNE Abbott. You've got Heather, who's the programs manager. She has one. I can give you my mobile number and my email. If you've got any questions, just feel free to just send them our way, and we can get back to people and tell them how to get involved. Well, the Facebook page is just fabulous. So let people know what that Facebook page is again, please. So our overall organisation one is just Youth Focus North East, and then my profile, which is just like, you can add me as a friend, is just Emma YFNE Abbott, which is ABBT. And before you go, you've got the competition that's been announced. How can people get involved with that? Which competition is that? There's a few different things. Sorry, I know there's so many stuff. The one with the paintings. Oh, the art one. So just drop us a message. We are sort of predominantly aiming, like I said, North Ormsby. So just drop us 10 to 18. Let us know if you want to get involved, if you've got some art, if you need any resources, so bits of some paper, pens, just drop us a message. Next week, myself and Caitlin are going to go and purchase some paper and some pens, and we'll get them out to you. So just drop us a message on Facebook or send me a text or an email, and I'm happy to get that out to you. Oh, thank you so much, Martin.
It's been absolutely wonderful, and keep up the good work, Emma. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It's been great to chat to you.
Oh, thank you, and come back. And we want to keep in touch with you and cover those events for you as well, because the more we can get the message out there, the more it's going to help everybody. You take care.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye. What an inspirational lady, Martin.
It's wonderful. You know, hearing what young people are doing, helping each other, helping the community, fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. And Martin, before our lovely next guest comes on and she's sitting in the green room, I have spotted two at the back of your head. What's that T-shirt you've got on the back of you?
That's my T-shirt for walking 150 miles in 10 days. The Tommy Challenge, which was to mark the retreat to Dunkirk in 1940. And there's people all over the country been walking basically 10,000 steps a day throughout the month of January. And some people were carrying 80-pound packs on their back. You know, not me. But yeah, it was a little saga. And eventually I got my shirt. But the best bit is, I wrote to them and I said to them, I'm not going to get this shirt. I've got as much chance of getting a date with Nicole Kidman. But when I got my pack with the shirt, there was a great big picture of Nicole Kidman in it.
Well, there you go. Honestly, what more can you expect? You not only have you got a fabulous T-shirt, I love that T-shirt. That is so. CVFM radio listeners, get yourself onto our Facebook page, because on the Facebook page you can see Martin in full Technicolor glory, wearing an absolutely beautiful waistcoat and a bow tie, may I add, looking very dapper this evening. And of course, he's got his fabulous T-shirt as well. And again, I think, have you started another sponsored walk?
Oh, yeah. I've decided that, not giving too much away, but before I hit the age of 65, and I've got 2 years to go,
Right.
before I hit the age of 65, I wanted to run a half marathon and a marathon, a real one. So I'm hoping I can do them at the end of this year. So I've signed up to run the Great North Run and the Manchester Marathon. Never haven't done that distance ever in my life. And raising sponsorship for hearing dogs for the deaf for my beautiful Inca. So if you get on my Facebook page, and I'll send the link across, please sponsor me, because I need all the encouragement I can get. It's a long way.
Well, I tell you, Martin, I'm going to sponsor you, and I really hope that our listeners will sponsor you as well, because we are doing this live, and you are profoundly deaf, aren't you?
I am, and I'm having fun this evening because the pictures are not catching up, and I can't lip read. So I'm having fun, and apologies to any guests who have asked a silly question too.
You haven't. You're brilliant. You're brilliant, and that's why, listeners, it just is so inspirational working with Martin. And at times you might not hear me, which you'll be pleased to know. Some of them would love me switched off, so that I'm actually moving bits and pieces around, so at least Martin can actually either see the guest or at least try and read some lips or a little bit of sound, aren't I, Martin?
It's fascinating. It's enjoyable tonight.
Oh, well, do you know something, Martin? I remember when I asked you to come on and co-host the show with me, and I know, look at us, look at what we're like, and but you said to me that coming and doing this has given you confidence, and I never could see you as somebody who wasn't a confident person.
Like most deaf people, you withdraw yourself from society and you learn coping mechanisms. You second guess what's going on and so on, all sorts of things. So it's a lack of confidence. It's based on coping, basically. And when I got my hearing dog, he...
Well, there you go. I've just lost it.
On the show. When you invited me on the show, I thought you must be mad.
No.
A radio show with somebody who's deaf. Hello, no, come on. But yeah, it's been great fun and I'm enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to our next guest.
And also as well is when we get out and about in the community, because we love being out. And I know we are looking, before we get our wonderful Charlotte on, I know we're looking at doing some virtual things for local history month, aren't we?
We are. We're well into planning for that, and we're looking to do some virtual tours, talks, interviews, all sorts of things. We're just tidying it up. I've been in discussion with some of the lovely people at Middlesbrough Council again today. Here's Charlotte. And so yeah, Inca's looking to get out and talk to all these people as well. Never mind me,
Well, I think we should get our next guest on. I'm actually going to put some music ready as well, because this is one seriously talented young lady, and I'm just going to unmute her mic. She says, now we're muting it. Come on, Marty.
Can we hear Charlotte?
No, you can't, because I haven't unmuted her yet. Charlotte, have you? She hasn't got her mic muted, has she?
Oh, is that it?
That's
There we
right,
go.
Yes, I
Don't
can't.
worry, Charlotte, at the beginning of the programme, I was completely muted, well, and it was my fault, and it was, interesting.
And I'm so used to having to mute myself in classes. So it's just an automatic thing.
Ah, right. You see, for our listeners, Charlotte is an absolutely fantastic classical crossover soprano. She teaches people as well. She's received lessons from. At the moment, you're at London Guildhall School of Music, aren't you?
I am.
But you're not there, are you?
No, I'm in Gisborough right now.
So you're doing your lessons at home, aren't you?
Yes,
the internet.
yeah. Everything's online at the minute.
And I know the other day there was a fantastic discussion you had about a score by Puccini, and you couldn't make out what all the writing was. I enjoyed that on Facebook.
I know, everyone was getting in on it, weren't they? Yeah, it was nice to have people helping.
And listeners, the great thing is we are very honoured to have Charlotte, because I remember some years ago that actually you were murdered, weren't you?
I was.
In Oxford.
Yes, in fact, I think next week will be a whole year since I was murdered.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about that, because we're confusing our listeners.
Yes, so I was lucky enough to get a role in ITV Endeavour, and my character was called Petra, and I sang, and then I walked along the towpath and I was murdered. So yeah, it was an incredible experience to be able to be on that show, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. But yeah, I've reincarnated. I'm back.
I see you've made a full recovery. To be honest.
Have, yes.
I'm just glad you made a full recovery. And can I just, listeners, I'm going to plug here. This is one of Charlotte's CDs, and Charlotte very kindly got me this some years ago. It's full of wonderful music. Now, tell us about the music that you sing, Charlotte, because people hear this word soprano, classical, crossover. What does it mean?
So basically, at Guildhall, they train us to go into the opera industry, but I quite like singing more lighter stuff, which is the crossover, which is kind of in between musical theatre and opera, some more operetta. So that's what I like to perform, like Leslie Garrett and Catherine Jenkins, they're crossover sopranos.
And you sang with Leslie. I mean, Leslie's one of my heroes. Hey, love, I love that music. She's one of my heroes. So, you've sang in some great places as well. I mean, give us a list of where you've sung.
Oh, bear with us.
Oh, that's all right. Am I there? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to think everywhere off the top of my head, but I was fortunate to sing in Westminster Central Hall. I was able to sing 2 solos there to over 2,000 people, which was amazing. And this summer was the 3rd summer where I've been able to do concerts in Bagni di Lucca in Italy. So yeah, it's incredible to be able to see different parts of the world and sing, doing what I absolutely love.
And what places you sang? I know this last summer you meant to go back with Bagni di Lucca, which I'm actually, it's in Italy. For people that don't know, it was Puccini's holiday haunt. He loved going there, and I was very lucky to be there some years ago. So I know what a beautiful place it is. But how did you come to be in Bagni di Lucca, Puccini's favourite place, singing at 17?
Yes. Well, my manager actually has a house out there, so that's how it came about. So thankfully, he's brilliant, and he's managed to get me concerts out there in the summers, which is brilliant because, as you said, it's such a beautiful part of the world. And
you were due to be back there this summer, weren't you? But presumably coronavirus put paid to that, yeah?
No, am I unmuted?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're not.
sorry.
You're right.
I did go out this summer. I sang there in August this year, which was really, really good. Feel very lucky to have been able to perform and actually do concerts this summer, because so many of my friends in the industry haven't been able to perform. But thankfully, I got out there, and yeah, it was brilliant.
And I mean, that must be a fantastic experience, and hope you can get back to all that. But you've not exactly been idle, have you, during this lockdown thing? You've been up to some other things. I seem to remember something about face masks.
Yes, I had got my sewing machine back out after quite a few years, and started making face masks. I made, gosh, I can't remember how many I made. They were coming out of my ears. There was lots, and I managed to donate hundreds of pounds to both Pipsco, who I know has been on your show, and also NHS charities. So yeah, that was brilliant.
Well done, you.
And I'm going for the big plug here now, Charlie. Here we go. Valentine's Day is coming up, and if people want a very nice cake or a set of cupcakes, I think it's a certain, a sweetness of sugar or a spoonful of sugar. Does that mean anything to you, Charlotte?
It does indeed. Yes, that's my little on the side baking little business sort of thing, if you like. Yeah, I'm a very keen baker. So yes, I've been making Valentine's Day cupcakes to sell. So thank you for the plug.
Well, I've only just discovered during lockdown baking, and it's an absolute joy. I just love the precision and the science of it, But your cakes look absolutely divine. I've got a long way to go before I can reach there. Now, not just that. Where do you find the time? That's what I want to know. On Tuesday night, you were singing a rather special song for somebody.
Oh yeah, after I heard the news about Captain Tom, I recorded "You'll Never Walk Alone," because obviously he sang that with Michael Ball, and it went to #1. So I thought it would be a fitting tribute to sing that for him. So that's on my personal Facebook page. If anyone wants to hear, just Charlotte Potter on Facebook. You can hear the video.
And I know this is something, I know this is something you do quite often. You entertain your neighbours, shall we say. You did it for the 75 years end of the war thing. But I'm also intrigued. If you go on Charlotte's website, listeners, you get loads of pictures, as you would expect, of Charlotte singing in beautiful, glamorous ball gowns and gorgeous, absolutely wonderful, sparkle, sequins everywhere. And then you come across a picture of her wearing climbing gear on the top of a mountain. Now, excuse me, is this something to do with, climb every mountain and thing? Or, you like walking or climbing?
I do, yes. My dad's a very keen hill walker, and I've got that from him. So he's only got about 6 of the Wainwrights left to climb, and I'm on with them. So yeah, absolutely love hill walking.
Well, that's good.
Oh yes, books. Yeah, we have them.
Does that? You're not at college in London. You're at home. You've obviously keeping yourself occupied and you're doing classes over line. But do you find getting out and about and walking helps you?
Yes, definitely. I think that it's so good for, mental health at any time, let alone during a pandemic. Being able to get out of your house, whether you live in downtown Middlesbrough and you can just walk around the streets, or whether, I'm very fortunate to live in Gisborough on the edge of the moors. And yeah, it's incredible just being able to just walk out of your house into such incredible scenery.
And I presume you go walking with your mum, Alison. I'm throwing in a quick plug here because I think your mum is great. Right? Sorry, I haven't met your dad, so your mum, fine. But I've got another little thing. Back in December, I seem to recollect you won a piano.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on, explain.
Oh,
sorry.
How did you come to win a piano, and what did you do with it? You must already have a piano, Julie.
I do, yes. There's an amazing local business called National Pianos. If anyone's looking for a piano, they are an incredible local business, and after talking to them, they've gone back for a couple of generations. They had an Instagram competition, and I entered because I like entering Instagram competitions, and I was lucky enough to win it. And I thought, oh no, I've already got a piano. What on earth am I going to do? And my second year essay is on the impact of music on people suffering with dementia. So I thought, what better thing to do than donate it to a care home where it can enhance people's lives. So I donated it to a care home in Linthorpe, which was, really good. And they were so, so grateful.
Well, I think that's absolutely wonderful. Now, we're going to finish the tour, I think, I'm hoping, with you singing my favourite aria of all time. The one that, I'm sorry, when people ask for the music they want to go to, or, the top 10, this is always top of my list. O Mio Babino Caro by Puccini. But coming up to Local History Month, I don't know whether you're aware, but it was actually written by Puccini for a lass from Middlesbrough, from South Bank, from Florence Easton, the Nightingale of South Bank. So you are carrying on a tradition that goes back to 1918. So, absolutely fantastic. And I know the mayor is on the lookout for naming streets around the town. Well, I want Florence Easton's name. Okay?
Definitely.
And when that's done, we get Charlotte Potter next to the sign singing. Okay? Have you got that, Mr. Mayor? Mr. Preston, are you listening?
That'd be perfect.
Charlotte, presumably you're looking towards the end of lockdown and going back to college in London, etc. But until then, are you going to continue baking and making math and singing and winning pianos?
Can but hope. I need to be careful with the cakes though, because I do want my dresses to still fit. So I have to be careful how many cakes.
Well, look, if it helps, I'll eat them for you.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yes.
But I lose weight eating cake.
I'm jealous.
I know everybody is, but it's amazing. Everybody knows it's true. Listen, I think Anne might be ready to play our song. Is that right, Anne?
Well, you know what it's like here. It's
this technology.
You're going to be singing live, Charlotte.
Oh no.
Can I just say, because we've just had a problem with sound this evening, Charlotte has very kindly given me a link to the website, which I've pulled up, and then I've realised that because we're sitting here in the studio, it's YouTube. So everything's all connected into YouTube. But I do actually have Charlotte Sings O Mio Babino Puccini.
O Mio Babino Caro.
Caro, yeah. From Janis Giki, may I add? That I've seen it at the Royal Opera House. 23rd of July 2018. Are you happy with that? I look at her, the poor girl's face. She's now going, "You've just ruined my career." So, are you all right there?
Yeah, you can play it. My voice isn't the same as it was then, but I'm sure.
Well,
yeah.
Everyone, I think you do need to actually buy Charlotte's CD. Martin, make sure it's there. I am actually going to try this. It's 2 minutes 38. It is one of the most beautiful pieces of music. And as Martin mentioned, it was written for a lady of Middlesbrough as well. So I'm going to play this. You're coming onto the stage at the moment, looking very glamorous. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to actually share the one from your Facebook page, because I really don't think we have done you justice. And I know Martin is currently muted. I'm going to have to mute you and bring Martin back on. So let me quickly unmute Martin.
I have to say,
There you go, my lovely.
That music, Bertabo Puccini, that song and the context of it, absolutely sends hairs up my neck. But when Charlotte sings it, it's an absolute gem. And I know you have to listen to her, you know, the performance she's happy with, but every time it just lifts the hairs on my neck. And at the moment, there's an awful lot of them to be lifted, but, you know, fantastic, Charlotte. Listeners, just get out there, listen to it. She's got some great songs on her website. You know, I spent most of the afternoon listening to them in between, you know, and I should have been doing other things. Anyway, Charlotte, keep up the singing. You know, keep up making cakes. And I hope all your studies go incredibly well. Thank you for your time this evening. It's been an absolute joy to talk to you.
Thank you for having me on. It's been lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. And we are going to share this because we haven't done you justice. So thank you so much. I'm going to unmute Martin. Dear, poor man.
It's been an absolute joy. Absolute joy. Take care.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
You too. You too.
Goodbye, my lovely. Oh, isn't she lovely, Martin? What a lovely young lady.
Absolutely. You know, this program's been an absolute joy tonight for me. You know, I mean, I people who know me when I give my talk, there's a talk I give about a famous woman from Teesside, and I call it Inspirational Ladies, and I get told off because I'm not allowed to call people ladies. The woman, no, they're not. No, they're not. All females are ladies until they prove otherwise. You know. Yeah. And tonight we have had such a collection of fantastic ladies, all full of confidence, full of hope, full of optimism, and doing great things. It's been absolutely wonderful.
And do you know something?
And I say that as a man.
Oh, right. Well, can I just say as well is that that opera, Janusz Kiki, is normally, because I was very lucky to actually go and see it at the English National Opera, and it's normally done in called within Il Tricatori, which is a couple of operas. So if you do see Il Tricatori, get yourself out there and go and buy a ticket if it's for Opera North, because you'll get to see Janusz Kiki within that as well. So I'm, you know me, you know I'm an opera fan. Can't say the words, but I love opera.
You know what I love about it is that you know, I mentioned there that Charlotte had been on Endeavour, and you know, I think a lot of people were introduced to opera through Morse's love of opera. because they suddenly realised that this was actually something you could listen to. You know, he would be halfway through solving some grisly murder. He'd go back to his flat, put the record on, listen to the opera, and it was all solved. You know, I mean.
But you know something, it's that beautiful clean sound as well. And we are very, very lucky to have, you know, talented young lady. The other week we had the other young lady that came on that was choral, and we had a real insight into ancient choral music.
Absolutely fascinating.
It's been brilliant. Well done for you for, you know, all these arty guests we're getting. It's wonderful, and I hope our listeners.
I forgot to ask Charlotte a question, because I saw that her mother had posted something the other day about a few years ago. She was a dancer, and she was actually scouted by the Dance Academy in Newcastle, and by one of his wonderful quotes, somebody who used to work in Middlesbrough for the council doing art stuff, and I knew very well, Phil Douglas. Has actually just got a job as creative director at Dance City. So maybe Charlotte had been a few years later, I could have swung it, but you know, and we would have lost that to opera, but gained it for dance. Incredibly talented young lady.
Yeah, and we can't lose that beautiful voice. And what we're going to do, CVFM radio listeners, we are actually going to share onto CVFM radio the Januszewski, what is it?
Mio Balbino Caro.
So I'm more interested in saying Januszewski.
I'm actually very impressed, because funny enough, with my human problem, that second word with all the S's and the T's and the I's and the H's is impossible. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Oh, well, I'll do the first bit. You do the second bit. It's teamwork. Fine. We are a teamwork. We are a community radio station. And if you want to, listeners, get involved in community radio with CVFM radio, just come onto our Facebook and send a direct message. We work extremely hard here just to get these shows out. And everybody is, you know, we all put a lot of work into these shows, don't we, Martin?
Yeah, we do. But it's fun and it's rewarding, because it's about the people in our community. And telling the good stories. That, you know, and today I actually have not listened to any news program, and the reason for that is I thought to myself, nah, this is getting a bit repetitive, depressing, etc. And then I come on the show tonight and you telling me 1.3 million vaccines have been done, and it's great news, you know. But that's what we try to get over, the good news about our community.
And we have a fabulous community here in Middlesbrough, and we are very lucky to have such a great community. We've got some great councillors as well, fabulous mayor. And talking about fabulous mayors, we've got the deputy mayor on next week.
Excellent. Can't wait for Anthony. Looking forward to this.
We've got, and also as well as I hear the mayor, Andy Preston, he will be coming on to a show with Idris very, very soon as well. So
can Idris mention to him, men, that I've got 27 females named in Middlesbrough, famous females who would be great for street names, you know?
Well, what I'll do is, because he's already, if anybody follows the mayor on Twitter, worth a follow definitely, and also Meika's worth a follow on Twitter as well.
I've never managed to tweet. It's enough that I can't hear the bird tweeting, but I can't do it myself.
Get yourself on Twitter, everybody, and go and follow the mayor's Twitter as well, because I'll actually put that quote on for you as well this evening. Okay, so I think before we go, I'm going to actually come out of YouTube. I am so sorry, Charlotte, as well. Do you know something? I think I might play Queen of Fat Bottom Girls.
Oh, that sounds good. That's a complete antidote to everything that we've had on the tour. That's brilliant.
I know. Well, we're going to end the broadcast here on Facebook Live. Do come on and have a check it out, everybody. If you want to come on as a guest, we are always looking for guests, aren't we, Martin, as well?
Absolutely.
Because this is a community show and it's about sharing your messages out there in the community, and also as well is that sharing good news as well. Let's sing from the rooftops how fabulous Middlesbrough is. So that's it. I'm going to end this broadcast. I'm going to play Fat Bottom Girls. Are you
home tonight.